He did some work for my fund edition boy, like, it's Jackson.
Yes. Yeah.
The face look.
Did he say what time he's coming?
He told me this morning, he thinks he's gonna run late. He said he had, his meeting was at 6:30. Whatever he had to do.
Oh, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all. No. So stupid.
Yeah. You guys all set?
Thanks.
You guys all set? I'd like to call the Smithfield Town Council meeting for Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026 at 7 p.m. to order. First on the agenda is the prayer. Thanking God for the opportunity to meet, asking for help in making wise decisions, and requesting our group work together respectfully. Amen. Salute to the flag.
I tell the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Emergency evacuation and health notification. Manager.
The event that the town council chambers has to be evacuated. There are two exits, one to my right, you can see the exit sign. That leads to the side of the building to the rear parking lot. Second exit is the rear doors of the chamber. Immediately outside the doors is a stairwell to your right that leads you to the front of the front parking lot of the building. Do not use the elevator in the event of an emergency. Ladies' room and men's room, immediately out the rear exit of the chambers. The men's room is on the right, 3 steps up on the left is the ladies' room.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Number 5, presentations. We have none. But I'd like at this particular time to publicly thank our DPW Director and Ralph Farah and the men and women of DPW for the fantastic job that they did during the blizzard of 2026. I think Smithfield was one of the only communities, or the only community, that the schools went back before anybody else. So on behalf of the, I think I can speak on behalf of the council, that we publicly thank the DPW and the director for a fantastic job. Thank you. Number 6, minutes. There are none. Number 7, consider, discuss, act upon the following appointments and reappointments. The Board of Canvass is appointed with a term expiring March of 2027.
Motion to appoint Michelle Rhea.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Item B, Land Trust appointment with the term expiring September of 2026.
Motion to appoint Paul McCarthy.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Item C, Board of Canvass's reappointment with the term expiring March of 2027.
Motion to reappoint Patricia Williams.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Item D, Economic Development Commission reappointment 2 with the terms expiring in March 2029.
Motion to reappoint Donna Keegan and reappoint Patty Mayorsi.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Item number 8, public hearing. Schedule a public hearing April 7th, 2026 to consider and discuss and act upon amendments to Article 9, the Smithfield zoning ordinance entitled Special Districts, Section 9.4.8, Table 3, Eagle Land Uses related to the hotel rooms thresholds within the economic growth overlay. Councilwoman,
Motion to have a public hearing on April 7th.
may I have a second? Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to, for the hearing on April 7th, I'd like to have some information regarding the current occupancy rates for, I believe there are 5 existing hotels there. I'd also like to have some information regarding the crime in that area, whether, we're getting increased crime because of hotels, maybe some statistics, maybe the police chief could come and give us some information on that.
Well, we can do that. And also I'd like to get, and yeah, maybe when the packet goes out, is that okay with you?
That would be fine, yeah.
All right, and also, if the town manager would, talk to, Mr. Bennett, I know they did a study up here and how many rooms that we were short pertaining to 116 and Route 7. Thank you. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye,
Aye.
nays, ayes have it. Item B, schedule a public hearing, April 7th, 2026, to consider and discuss act upon amendments to Chapter 48 Smithfield Code of Ordinances entitled Budget and Review, and add Section 48.5 entitled Compensation, and that's sponsored by myself.
Motion to schedule the public hearing.
Have a second. Any discussion?
Just had one question prior to the hearing. I guess a question for the sponsor. So was this a request by any of the board members? How did this come about?
Request by me because of all the hours that they're putting in and they're not being compensated for it.
Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye,
Aye.
nays, ayes have it. Schedule a public hearing, April 7th, 2026, to consider, discuss, act upon amendments to Chapter 11 of the Smithfield Code of Ordinance entitled Boards and Commissions, that Section 11.9 entitled Zoning Board. Compensation, sponsored by myself. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to schedule the public hearing.
Have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye,
Aye.
nays, ayes have it. Item D, schedule a public hearing April 7th to consider, discuss, act upon amendments of 72 of the Smithfield Code of Ordinance entitled Planning Board and amendment section 72.2E entitled Creation of Membership Organization Compensation, sponsored by myself. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to schedule the public hearing.
Have a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye,
Aye.
nays, ayes have it. Item number 9, licenses. Consider and discuss act upon approving a new mobile food truck license for Big Bobby Q LLC, Big Bobby Q, to sell BBQ from a truck of Rhode Island registration number 1 TB 312, 31 Phillips Lane, Harmony, Rhode Island, has applied, subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances. Lynn, is everything in order? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
May I have a second? Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye,
Aye.
nays, ayes have it. Item B, consider, discuss, act upon approving a mobile food truck license for Kelsey Almeida, DBA Kelsey's Cake 401, to sell pastries and cakes from a truck, Rhode Island registration 1 YQ 571, 97 Lime Rock Road, Smithfield, Rhode Island, as applied and subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances. Lynn, everything in order? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I have a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye,
Aye.
nays, ayes have it. Item number C, consider, discuss, act upon approving renewal of 2 particular only licenses as listed as applied, subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances as AJL LLC, New England Frozen Lemonade, and Millennium Pizza LLC, Ronzio Pizza. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I have a second. Lynn, everything in order?
Everything's in order.
My apologies on that. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye,
Aye.
nays, ayes have it. Item D, consider, discuss, act upon approving renewal of 1 mobile food truck license as applied, subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances, and Calibra Enterprises LLC, Corner Market Cafe. Everything in order, Lynn? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Have a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item E, consider, discuss, act upon approving a new particular license for Hania Holdings LLC, Fresh Monkey, 9 Cedar Swamp Road, Unit 5, as applied, subject to comply with all state regulations and local ordinances. Everything in order, Lynn? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item F, consider, discuss, act upon approving a new particular license of ALG 33 Enterprises included Isonis at 259 Putnam Pike, has applied, subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances and food businesses and the Department of Health. Lynn, everything in order?
Yes, and they just received the Department of Health approval, so.
Good to go. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye,
Aye.
nays, ayes have it. Number 10, old business, there are none. Item number 11, new business. Consider discuss act upon approving the town manager to enter into a contract about the Rhode Island Master Price Agreement 584B, which Beta Group Incorporated, Town of Lincoln, Rhode Island, to conduct a hydraulic study for the Spencer Road neighborhood for the sum of $28,510. Mr. Manager.
Good afternoon, Council. Josh Jelly, Town Engineer for Smithfield. So as the memo outlined, I received some grant funding for two particular projects, this one and the next one that you're gonna see on the agenda. They're both on the capital improvement list. They've been for, I think, the 10, 15, 20 year. And both projects have had residents come in the last year or two to ask what the project status on these jobs are, because we actually have some video and photo evidence of flooding that's happened in the last recent few years and specific intersections and stuff like that during during higher rain events. And so, I went out and I got quotes from Beta Group for, to do a watershed analysis to make sure that nothing upstream is affected if we do actually increase capacity of the culvert. And, to evaluate the culvert to see if anything actually does need to be done to mitigate some of the flooding that's going on in town. So I just wanted to come up here in case you had any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the council?
Engineer Jelly, did Beta provide you with an updated payment and reporting schedule? Because this one that's here is out of date.
So that I actually wrote that in myself as like a rough estimate, but I wasn't able to actually start with the whole process until I got approval tonight. And so the dates are a little bit out of whack, but as soon as I get approval tonight, first thing tomorrow, I'll be sending them an approval letter to go forward with it. And then we'll be looking to do the work this spring because the funds do expire, I believe, June of 2027. And so we do have to act quickly. And so I do plan to get everything done like this spring.
So this, you wrote and then Beta agreed to it?
Correct. Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. And I can't find it now. I don't know if it's the next one where they were rated by a committee. Was it the next one or was it this one? I cannot find it in here. The bids.
Sorry, what was the question?
There was one of these was, they had a committee. We went through an RFP. It was Jean, Carlos, and maybe yourself.
I did have RFQs for other projects going on right now, but for these two in particular, I just used the MPA list. I didn't actually have an RFQ.
Maybe I was mistaken. I could have sworn oh, you know what? That was for the senior center. I don't,
Yes.
never mind. My bad. Thank you.
I do have
Sorry
three
about
projects
that.
going on, so you
Yeah,
could complete it.
I can't find it.
It happens.
Thank you.
But yeah.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion if nobody else has any questions.
Motion to approve.
A second, any more discussion? Hearing none, all's in favor? Aye, nays, ayes have it. Item B, consider to discuss or act upon authorizing the town manager to enter into a contract with the Rhode Island Master Price Agreement 584B with A1 Engineers Incorporated of Providence, Rhode Island, to conduct a structural evaluation, hydraulic and feasibility study at Julian Street culvert for the sum of $16,860.
Good evening again, Josh Jelly, town engineer. This one's a little bit different than the last one. This one requires, for the previous one that Beta's doing, that one's all underground drainage. This one is an actual culvert that's visible. And so this one actually incorporates an inspection as well. And so this one, they would do a watershed analysis. This one feeds right into the Wanasquatucket River, this one in particular, especially with the multi-use bike trail that's gonna be going on in the next few years. I really want to make sure that they study the downstream effects for this one as well. And so they're gonna be making sure that it doesn't negatively affect Waterman Ave and all that, and the Wanasquatucket River watershed as is. And then they're gonna give, similar to the other study, they're gonna give conceptual cost on what it would cost, what it would take to improve the culvert if it is indeed found that it does need to be improved. And so same thing as the last one, wouldn't have to be funded at all by the town. This would be all funded by the grant.
Thank you.
So this is a single grant for both projects?
Correct. So when I applied for the grant, I broke it down into two different projects. So I tried like I tried maximizing what I could do with it. And so that way I broke it into two separate projects and, but same, I'll have to submit like reimbursements for both projects at the same time. They both expire next summer, like June 2027, but it's the same grant. Correct.
Engineer Jelly, I'm sorry, if you said this already, are you able to send us the schedule and reporting?
I can get you an
In
updated.
case people ask, you know, just so we
What I-
have the updated version.
What I
you
could
do
do,
it.
sorry to cut you off, what I could do is tomorrow I'll be sending them the letter to move forward and stuff like that, like I said earlier. What I could do is I can ask them to work on an update schedule with me, and then I could give you guys an updated copy.
That would be great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Second, sorry.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item C, consider discuss act upon authorizing a bid award for commercial kitchen equipment upgrades to the senior center, subject to review by the town solicitor. Director.
Good evening, council. This is the second part of appearing before the council. The first part was back in December, requesting to go out for a bid. This is the follow through. We had 7 companies come out back in December. You can see the pricing. It went before the review commission that we set up. Johnson Lancaster Associates is the recommended person to be awarded the bid at a price of $78,693. And again, all this funding does come from the Harriet Grant Ballou Foundation. There's no cost to the town. I do recommend that the council approve.
Director Isabelli, I wish Director Allen was here. It's something, I know this is a grant and all that, but it just stuck out to me that the DPW director scored both of these companies so low compared to the other 3. It just struck me as, so I would be interested in knowing why he scored them so low in the 30s versus 80s and 60s.
So I can't speak to
Yeah, you can't speak to
Director
that,
Allen's
yeah.
piece. I do know that some of the things on the rubric were unable to be scored, right? So that may have been one of the reasons why Director Allen went in that direction.
On what, please?
Smithfield, one of the questions was, do they reside in the town of Smithfield? Background information. I can't speak for his reasoning, but he may not have been comfortable doing references based off of personal and professional experiences.
Any more questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Have a second? Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item
you.
D, consider discuss act upon adopting a resolution in support of municipal collaboration and renewing and analyzing and responding to 2024-2025 affordable housing law sponsored by Councilman Ionati, Councilwoman Bovis, and Councilmember Rachel Toppy.
Mr. President, this resolution comes from a similar resolution that is going around several towns that are similar in size to Smithfield. And basically, it states that despite the fact that Article 13 of the Rhode Island Constitution and Smithfield's charter grant Smithfield the authority to govern local affairs, which include land use, zoning, and comprehensive planning. The General Assembly has passed new housing laws over the past 2 years, which severely curtail local control over these areas. While Smithfield recognizes the need for increased housing, especially low and moderate income housing, new state housing laws provide a one-size-fits-all approach to development, which conflicts with Smithfield's comprehensive plan, which conflicts with Smithfield's zoning ordinances, the capacities that we have here for infrastructure, and our environmental constraints that we need to put on these projects. With this resolution, Smithfield would be joining other municipalities that are seeking legal remedies to clarify the extent to which these new state laws impair home rule. Pending legal clarification, we would urge our planning and zoning boards to exercise caution and heightened scrutiny in reviewing applications submitted under the comprehensive permitting statute. We also call upon the General Assembly and state agencies to work collaboratively with municipalities to amend or interpret the housing laws so as to preserve local planning and respect the character of each individual community. Our state senator and state representatives are working this very day to introduce bills to try to ameliorate some of the effects of these laws that have passed over the last 2 years.
Anyone else?
I mean, I have a statement I was going to make, but I was told that this is going to be tabled. So if so, I'm not going to make that statement.
I would like to make a motion to table at this point. The General Assembly has some bills that are being put in, both in the Senate side and on the House side. I know the Senate bills were put in today. I don't know when the House bills are being put in. I assume soon. Those bills are not assigned a number yet. So it's my understanding that when the resolutions include the numbers of the legislation specifically, those resolutions are a little bit stronger, if you will, and carry a little more weight in the General Assembly. So I would like to make a motion to table this to the next meeting. That way we can gather those numbers of each bill, add some additional language to our resolution, and then that way it can proceed through with a little more gusto, if you will.
All right, do I have a second? Any more discussion?
I would just say that I agree and disagree. This resolution in front of us is doing something completely different than supporting bills that our representatives and senators are submitting for us. So I don't understand why we can't just pass this tonight and then do a separate one. So
Well, the motion
Well,
was-
no.
okay.
So you want
We
to know what
could-
doesn't work? That,
why not?
as a legislator, you would get these piles and piles of these letters. It meant nothing. You'd stand over the recycle bin and drop them in. When, you know what works? What we're doing now. When we talk to our legislators and we have discussions with them, say, hey, this is killing us, get on it. And that's what they're doing. That works. This doesn't. To your credit, yes, being a little bit more specific, that does, amp it up a little bit. But I would tell you what happened last time. What happened? Do you want me to remind you?
I really don't know what you're talking about. So
The last time we did a resolution, went downtown, Assembly did what they wanted to do, steamrolled it. That's what's going to happen. So if you want to do it right, what you really should do is have a discussion with your legislators. Every one of us need to talk and have a discussion with your legislators.
I
That's
did-
what works.
I did speak to David today and
I-
he was going to come, but I'm not sure if he's gonna make it in time, but he has 3 bills that he's putting in. The bill numbers will be assigned by the end of the week. We can implement them into the resolution and they will follow the bills, both online and in committee. So
And I spoke with Representative Constantino today, and I also had received texts from Representative Santucci.
Yep.
So we have ongoing discussions all the time.
So those
Yeah.
bills being local bills will require.
We need a resolution
from
anyway.
The council
Right.
relative
That's-
to whatever legislation they intend on introducing.
Yeah, I spoke to Representative Santucci and Senator DeCoyan today as well about the bills that they're working on. One of them is the bill that I wrote to try to come up with some kind of compromise on this catastrophe that's befalling us. I think that the important thing is that we get a resolution through, whether it's 2 resolutions or 1. I think they are sufficiently different that we could do 2 resolutions. I agree with Councilwoman Toppy, but also I think that we need to maintain unity. I think that, if you feel that, 1 resolution has a greater impact, then, let's do 1.
From
Whatever.
experience, I'm
Let's
telling you
let's
what that will
and you also have experience as a state rep. So, the important thing is that we are trying to address this important issue.
I don't disagree. I think everybody is, but what I'm trying to explain, what's going to work and what really, really works is discussions with
Right.
your legislators. That's what works. Because they know what's important to the town. that you're gonna know when you're a legislator, you're worried about what's in your backyard. And if your locals are discussing what's important to the town, they're paying attention, because that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do.
And the other thing too, it's all five of us. It's not 3, 2, 1. It's all five are in the same boat.
Yeah.
And we'll need to, we'll put some out of Councilwoman. You don't think the five of us are on board with the housing issue?
I have no comment other than I do speak to our state legislators as well, so.
All right, there's a motion, there's a second.
Would anyone have come here to speak on this? I'm not sure. Like, I suppose they should be given an opportunity.
It's not a public hearing, but you can speak.
Yeah.
Ed DeMayo, 75 Whipple Road. In regards to this last thing that is a catastrophe. I'm asking anybody in the sound of my voice if they're qualified, common sense, that want to run for legislature or represent the state house, please get in touch with the gentleman who is very involved in having common sense people run. Dave Levesque from Root Awakenings, please get in touch with him so we can get these wicked, wacky wokes, nutbags out of the State House. We have good people on our side here. and
Mr. DeMayo,
Yes, sir.
it's about this bill. It's not about wiki wacky wokes. If you have a comment on this legislation,
Yes.
you may speak. If you don't,
Everybody up here.
I expect
is
you to sit
correct.
down, please.
Yes, sir. Everybody up here is, I'm on board with everything you're saying.
All right, thank you.
But we just got to get the person trying to get common sense people in there.
I think the legislators that we have representing the town of Smithfield are pretty well,
Thank you, sir.
they're good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We need a majority. Mrs. Toppy?
Good evening, Grace Toppy, 20 Alpine Ridge. I've spoken extensively with Larry Fitzmaurice, who is the president of the Portsmouth Citizens Group, Concerned Citizens. They, I believe, are the first town council to approve a very, very similar resolution. And I've read the resolution and I am in full support of it. But I do, with all due respect, I do want to say that I don't think I think what needs to be done is right now a statement by the town of Smithfield that we are not in support of these crazy housing, one size fits all rules and laws that they have passed. Okay. So the point of the resolution, I don't think, is to like get it all right immediately, get it all right, get it all perfect, get it set up with all of the bills coming in. I think the point of it is to open the ears and eyes of the present General Assembly members so that they know, I mean, it's not just our town officials or our district representatives. They are all on board. I can tell you that right now. All of them are on board already. Mr. Takoyan, Mr. Costantino, and Mr. Santucci. They're all on board with this. We don't need to talk to them anymore about it. I think I strongly feel, and I really hope that you will approve this now, tonight, because it will set things, in motion so that the state General Assembly will see this is an issue. All of the cities and towns, as you know, have received this resolution and they hopefully are working on their own version of it, or, whatever, as you all have done. And I really thank you for doing that. I thank you all for, I think the three of you for sponsoring it. So that's my point. It is to alert the General Assembly that there are cities and towns, their legislature, their officials are saying, no, this is not a good thing for the state. I will also tell you that Portsmouth Concerned Citizens has also filed an injunction in Superior Court to put a stay on any of these laws, because no one has had the time to look through these laws and really see the repercussions of them, how they are going to affect each individual city and town. So I would also urge you to, after you do your due diligence, to join them and be a co-plaintiff in this area. As I said, I've talked extensively with Larry Fitzmaurice in Portsmouth, and he could give you a lot of information, as he has done for me. So I really implore you to just get this resolution done, and then as the bills come in and whatnot, you can deal with it. You can juggle things around, I think, afterwards. Thank you.
Well said.
Mr. President, my motion to table
Hang on.
remains.
Anyone else? Okay, go ahead.
My motion to table remains. I think we all are on the same page that we need to open up the legislature's eyes. All 5 of us agree that housing in Smithfield is becoming an issue. I want the best possible chance for things to be listened to. And it's my understanding, based on the recommendation of people who have been previous in the legislature, as well as people who are currently in the legislature, the best way to do that is to name specific bills. So these resolutions travel with the bills. Otherwise, they just go into the abyss. So I think the goal remains the same. And I think in 2 weeks' time, when we have those bill numbers, our resolution will be stronger and more productive for the town.
So there's a
Can
motion.
we recharacterize the motion as one to continue rather than table? Because
Yeah.
table sounds like.
That's fine. Yeah. I make a motion to continue to the 17th. That's fine, Mike.
Do you have a second? Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes
Aye.
have it.
That was an A.
Right now, our public comment.
Good evening. Kenneth Souza, 2 Williams Road, Smithfield, Rhode Island. Don't worry, Council President. I want to get out of here too, so I can go see the Bruins game, and have dinner. So we're gonna get this done quick.
Is your phone off?
Yes.
Okay.
Why? Oh, you want me to get the alerts? Okay. You want me to tell you the score? That's what you want to do. Okay. I came here actually to talk about the other things. I didn't realize the public hearing wasn't today. But what I want to do is, I think, even better in some ways. I want to acknowledge the town council president and the town manager. I was here last night, as you both were. The performance assessment has been an issue of a lot of discussion, as we all know. And I've probably put the most amount of work as one of the volunteers into the last one we did. So I just want to put on the record, I want to say thank you to both of you, because it's joyful. I don't know another word to use to agree on something. It really made me feel good to go home last night and say, let's do this the right way. Let's not spend the 70,000 or whatever it is on something. 80. Okay, I'm not chirping in the other 10. And I think it's better. Let the charter review do its stuff. Ernie is very the chairman, Almonte, knows this stuff better than anybody in this room. But it made me feel really good. I wanted to acknowledge that today, that we're moving in the right direction. We're saving the money. Let's do it right. Let's learn more, and I'm more than willing to help in that process to do the right thing for the town and its residents and make it work. And I just want to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your comments.
I did it quick so we can see the second.
Anyone else? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. I have a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye, nays, ayes have it. We're adjourned.